From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 1959, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, April 8th, 2015. Wednesday, March 25th was a busy afternoon and evening for ham radio emergency communications volunteers in Oklahoma as the Southwest Independent Repeater Association and the Tulsa Region Skywarn Nets were active in support of tornado warnings across the state. Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, has more.
As the storms progressed across the Tulsa metro area, many of the early damage reports were passed to the Tulsa Area Emergency Management Agency via amateur radio. Oklahoma section radio amateurs on both sides of the state reported on these severe weather outbreaks until they exited late that evening. According to Lloyd Colston, KC5FM, both the Tulsa and Norman offices of the National Weather Service have amateur radio stations. Colston, who is the Oklahoma section manager, notes that both encourage Skywarn and Weather Ready Nation programs in their service area. KC5FM says that in severe weather mode, volunteer radio amateurs serve as Skywarn net controllers operating with the tactical call of Tulsa Weather under the call sign WX5TUL. There are two dual-band radios, radar displays, and monitors to track warnings and briefings, as well as a system to monitor APRS. Also, the Tulsa Amateur Radio Club's UHF Superlink system is used for Skywarn traffic outside of the metro area.
25 of the 77 counties in Oklahoma were declared disaster areas by Governor Mary Fallin. The recovery is slow but continuing in Vanuatu following Cyclone Pam. Here's Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
The International Telecommunications Union has deployed emergency telecommunication equipment to Vanuatu following the devastation caused by Category 5 Cyclone Pam that hit the archipelago on March 13th. The ITU dispatched 40 satellite phones, 10 broadband global area support terminals, and 35 solar panels to the island nation to support relief coordination efforts. When Cyclone Pam slammed into the Vanuatu archipelago, winds were estimated to have reached 150 miles per hour, with gusts peaking around 200. This caused massive damage to the nation's infrastructure while impacting services such as electricity and communications with the outside world. Over the years, Vanuatu has been a haven for tourists and de-expeditions.
Get ready to hear some new voices coming from the ISS.
The number of ham radio operators on board the International Space Station is now at 3, following the March 28th arrival of Russian cosmonauts Mikhail Kornienko, RN-3BF, and Gennady Padalka, RN-3DK, along with NASA astronaut Scott Kelly. European Space Agency astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti, IZ0UDF, will return to Earth in May after Kjell Lindgren, KO5MOS, Oleg Kononenko, RN3DX, and Kamaya Yui arrive at the ISS as part of a scheduled crew rotation. Cristoforetti has conducted several amateur radio school contacts during her time on board the ISS.
Still in space, AMSAT's Director of Field Operations, Patrick Stoddard, WD9EWK, tells Newsline there's a new handout online for you to learn how to operate the satellites.
The handout, titled Getting Started with the FM Satellites, is now available on the World Wide Web. Written by Stoddard, the article shows the basic equipment and techniques to learn successful operating on the satellites. It also gives specific information on how to operate via SO50. The only currently available FM satellite at the moment.
You'll find the link in the full edition of this week's Amateur Radio Newsline report. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for over 37 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. For Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, and Jim Dameron, N8TMW, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.